Hey everyone, Dante here with the Raging Geek, and today we have a Bandai Perfect Grade model. It's the GUNDAM RX-78-2. And this is the EFS Force Prototype Close Combat Mobile Suit. So, this is our very first Perfect Grade that we're attempting to do here at the Raging Geek. I've never done one before, quite, on this scale. I picked it up on Amazon. I got it for a really good price. It was, I believe, around like $110. Got it about a month ago or so. So I basically, for the most part, I went a clear enamel spray on all the parts. With the exception of the blue pieces, which if you've seen past videos, I have this metallic blue that I've been using a lot. I don't know, I'm kind of fond of it. It's got a very pearl type glitter to it. So with the exception of the blue armor pieces, everything else I did with a clear enamel spray. When I did certain parts with the clear, especially the white, it actually picked up some dust particles, which kind of gave it a nice gritty look to it. So I'm gonna let you see that real quick. So I don't know if you can notice, but it's kind of like speckled, if you can see that. And it's got a nice gloss finish to it, but at the same time it doesn't look like too artificial, where it's just a plastic model. I mean, it has a real, I guess you could say, armor metal plated look to it. We're gonna see how that goes. I have a good feeling about it. It's gonna look good. In the future, I kind of know what happened when I sprayed it. I did it when I sprayed these pieces. I did it outside. I was kind of close to the ground, so I think when the spray paint was kind of shooting down, it kind of kicked up some dust particles close to the ground. And shockingly to say, I mean, I guess you could say, lucked out the way it came out, because it looks pretty cool. But let's start this model up. It's probably going to take me a few sessions to do this. I mean, because of the scale of it. I mean, I've heard stories about perfect grades taking a whole day. So I'll start it up. I may or may not use panel line accents, which would be the first time I've tried. I've kind of researched how to do it. I mean, it's not really too hard, but I'm going to give it a try and see how it comes out. And then you have the decals as well. It's going to take quite a bit of time to finish this model, so I'm going to say it's going to probably maybe be 2 or 3 days. Unless you start early in the morning and kind of just grind through till late at night. But let's get started. I'm going to pan down. We got a long road ahead, and let's see how this comes out. But I have a good feeling about this model. I've been really anxious to do it. As far as the part sheets, there's a lot. So let's give it a go, and enjoy the show. So, quite a long build. Took about, I want to say, safely 3 days. I want to say I was kind of trying to hurry. I mean, 3 days, for one model was more than I kind of bargained for when I, initially purchased this. Though, I really had no idea how long it was going to take, being it was my first perfect grade. But, the general idea I had is it would take one full day to complete. So, it kind of worked out. I'm guessing a full day, 12 hours. So first time, 3 days, 4 or 5 hours a session, not too bad. I also did in all the extra detailing with the decals and the panel lining. So good effort on the first try. And it's definitely something I would want to do again in the future. I mean, I like the way it came out. It kind of made me want to do more, and it actually, after doing a perfect grade, you're kind of less inclined to do the lesser grade models because they just don't look as well, I guess, like this, and they're just not as nice looking. The detail is there. It's got a really nice wow factor to it. You pay a little extra, but I actually got this. I don't know how I got it for so cheap on Amazon. 105 or 110, I think I said. But if you try to look for this anywhere else, you're not going to really find it for less than, at least on Amazon, it's anywhere between 180 and 200. If you can get it for less, it's definitely a bargain. I have seen them as low as 120. Why the price varies so greatly, I'm not sure. I guess it's due to availability. But I mean, look at it. Came out great. It's got great articulation. The ankles move. The ankles move from side to side. You got forward back movement. The knees move good. The hips too. The legs shift from a circular motion left to right. They go forward, back, side to side. You can make him kind of pivot a little bit, not too much, just ever so slightly. You get a slight turn. All the panels open. These emergency vent panels. His fingers got full articulation. I mean, they're basically hands. That are totally capable. They grip like a regular hand. As far as hand strength, I wish it was a little better. If I try to, say, tighten this grip up a bit around his rifle, it has a tendency to start, tipping forward, like, if you can see like this, it'll start going like that. Unless you're going on a full, like, just holding it down as such, like this, or you have a two-handed grip with the rifle. If you try to extend it out like this, I have a feeling, or just by looking at it here, if I show you, it tends to tip forward a bit. So if you can see that, so so it seems like it grabs a little bit. I mean, you could get lucky depending on how you tip the elbow, but like I said, yeah, maybe do more of an elbow bend to keep it straight. But it does have a tendency, the rifle, to tip forward because it's a very heavy rifle as opposed to his hand strength. So, but I mean, not too much of a big deal. There's a lot of things you can do to compensate for that. But yeah, depending on the pose, the gun will tip forward, or the rifle will tip forward somewhat. The shield, I love how all the accessories they mount to his back. The shield either can mount to his back or mount to his forearm, which is cool. So it'll mount to his back or his forearm. The rifle as well, you know, you can either have him holding it, or you know, you could strap it kind of to his back, which is cool. The lightsabers, I like to leave them in this position. It just looks nicer when they're just kind of like at the ready, or you can just like pull them out. But you know, if you wanted to take them out, you know, you just give them a little pull over here, and you add the lightsaber piece like so, and then boom, you got instant lightsaber. But like I said, I like them over here. They just look cooler. I have to say, again, you know, with like all these models, you know, it just feels like when you're playing with it, you're always walking on eggshells. You know, you can very easily snap one of these pieces. Not that I did, but you know, it just, you can hear it. I mean, you can feel it. I mean, you can't go too far in the wrong direction, or you know, you're gonna probably snap something. Even when taking, you know, lightsabers out and stuff like that, you know, it's not something I'd be inclined to do frequently. The lights are cool. You know, I advise you to make sure you put in the battery before you assemble the head, or you will have to partially disassemble the head, I want to say. Not too much, but partially disassemble the head to re-put it in, because there is a screw that needs to be unscrewed to get the battery in and out. So just so you get an idea of how it looks with the light on, and it is really cool, I must say. I mean, I'm in love with this model. It is really great. I'm all about, you know, I love all the iconic figures, you know, the retro figures, and you know, this, to me, this was the figure when I was younger. I mean, they used to have the pencil cases, you know, and they used to have like the 6 buttons, and you know, each button did a certain thing on the pencil case, open up a secret compartment. I mean, that was the thing when I was little. You know, everyone needed a Gundam pencil case, and you know, but yeah, you know, when I remember the pencil cases and the folders, you know, folders too, things like that, you know, the what do you call it, the trapper keepers, things like that, you know, when they had Gundams, you know, this was always the Gundam on those you know, stationary items. So, you know, as far as a nostalgic you know, appeal, I mean, this is the Gundam to have. So, I mean, look at that with the eyes. It just looks incredible. But, yeah, the shield, I mean, there's 2 little notches here that you have to get them in precisely so it just stays fastened. I'm not going to go too crazy trying to get in right now, because I'm just want to go over everything with you real quick. But, I mean, I love the way it looks with the shield on the back. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I'll probably keep it like that. And then either have him, my favorite pose is just having him here, like, you know, kind of peering off to the side, you know, with his rifle kind of just casually pointed down. But, yeah, the decals came out okay. They're just stick-on decals, so you just kind of carve them out from the decal sheet, and then you just use a kind of like a scraper tool to just make sure it's nice and flush on the surface. And then the panel lining, which was the first time I did it, came out good. I mean, just from the helmet piece, you see how the little notches are blackened. I like the way it came out. And that's it. So, you know, will I be doing more of these? Probably. You know, the only downside I have about these is, yeah, they take a long time to make. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's people out there who do them really fast. You know, in a few hours, possibly. You know, and it's like anything. You know, the more time you put into it, the better it's going to look. So if you rush, you know, it's probably, you know, just to get it together, you know, it's probably not going to have the same aesthetic appeal as something as you put a little more time to it. So, you know, if I had one word of advice, you know, I would try not to bang this out all in one session. You know, do a couple of parts a day, and you know, save the last day for just doing, you know, like decals and detailing and things like that with the panel lining. And it'll come out good. So yeah, the Gundam RX-78-2 close combat suit. I'm definitely going to say, if you see this, and you know, if you're curious about getting it, I mean, you won't be disappointed. It's a great model. You know, if you, like I said, I mean, if you love the old school stuff and the retro Gundams, I mean, this is, I mean, I'm not a Gundam wizard, but you know, as far as I can remember, which, you know, is pretty far, you know, in the mid 80s, you know, early to mid 80s, I mean, this was the Gundam, you know, this symbolized Gundam right here. So I really like it. I would get it again. You know, I was even thinking about getting another one just to have the kit in case I wanted to build it again. I mean, it's just really a cool model. You know, as far as the second one, I was thinking about, there was one like a GP-01. There was also an RX-178, I believe. There was one that looked like this, but it had, instead of the red and blue and yellow accents, it had, I think it was like black and yellow accents, which is really cool. But yeah, Gundam RX-78-2. You know, if you have any comments, any questions, you know, feel free to post it. You know, you can reach out directly to me on my site. You know, any tips and stuff like that. Again, you know, this is the first time I did one of these, but like I said, I mean, it came out pretty good, so I'm happy with it. No issues. And that's it, folks. I appreciate you watching. Come again. I got more models. I just pulled out 3 Evangelion models from the vault. I'm going to be doing that in the near future, so stay tuned. I'm going to have more Gundam as well. Come by the site, check out the store. Always posting new stuff there, and I hope to see you guys again. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Raging Geek, Retro, all things geek, where geeks can be geeks. Raging Geek, Retro, all things geek, where geeks can be geeks.